welcome to this episode of Startup Central. I'm Nayantara Rai. This is the only show of its kind on Indian television dedicated to, of course, startups, new economy, entrepreneurship, disruption, basically anything that falls under the gambit of the new economy. It's going to be here on your favorite channel, ET Now, every weekday at 6 p.m. Today we have a really special guest for you. We've been trying to convince him for a while to come on the show, and it's finally happened. I'm going to be in conversation with the big boss at Grofers, the E-grocer, Albinder Dhindsa, the guy who started it all, has managed to get Zomato on board as an investor and is making waves with what we call to be quick commerce, changing our habits, getting used to having our groceries delivered in 10 minutes flat. Albinder, thanks so much for giving us time right here on ET Now. A pleasure to host you today. Lots to talk to you about. I know the quick commerce is your pet project. Before I get into all of that, can I begin by first asking you how life has changed since Zomato has entered Grofers? We've got all this conversation happening where there's going to be investing more money, if it's going to be taking over Grofers.
Thank you for having me, Nayantara. And life is good. It was good earlier as well. I think with Zomato investing, it has been better. We get to learn a lot, and we get to also see their and admire their success every day. So life is very good, and we are building something interesting where a lot of what Zomato learned applies, right? So building out quick commerce, building out fast delivery network, partnering with a lot of local businesses so that we can meaningfully make an impact. I think these are all things that we are picking up on the way.
And the view that exists that maybe Zomato's be a precursor to an outright acquisition, or at least increasing its stake. And now Zomato's on record about that as well, right? About doing so in other startups. Anything you can tell us?
I think that's a good question to ask Zomato. I think I'm more capable of answering questions about what 10-minute delivery means.
Okay, so let's talk about your pet project, quick commerce. You're trying to pioneer that in India. I remember that one tweet of yours when somebody said, I got it on Grofers in 17 minutes, and you said that's 2 minutes too late. What are the trends that you're seeing as far as quick commerce goes? I'm imagining, and I would envisage it's still a big city phenomenon. It's something for the premium customers as well, because it'll come at a higher cost.
So I think without going into the details, I don't think that it is a premium customer only phenomenon. I think when we started off on this journey about 150 days ago, we were initially doing maybe 2,000 orders a day in quick commerce across geographies. Right now, we do more than 1 lakh orders every day that we're delivering to customers. And if you look at the spread of customers, it is not just premium customers. I think the demand for this service has always been there. Unfortunately, the only thing that was not there was the service actually didn't exist for end customers. And I think now it does. So we were seeing people pick it up because at the end of the day, this really puts the customers in control. They can go about their lives, and everybody's life is busy. It's not just the premium customers or the rich customers whose lives are busy. Everybody's life is busy, and they really appreciate the fact that there is an app that can actually help make that life easier for them. It's the equivalent of sort of having a magical cupboard in your house that when you open it, you can just put in your hand and pull out whatever you need. So when you deliver in 10 minutes, a lot of people take advantage of this convenience, not just the premium customers. We are still early in the journey about tier 2, tier 3 cities, but we are hopeful that that is something that will also be, that there will be a good adoption of it. Our early data seems to point that we might actually also find some success there, but we will keep you posted once we have better answers on it.
So tell us more about what, quick commerce, 10-minute deliveries that you're trying to do. How is it working? I read your blog. You talked about having 200 dark stores. Now, this is a space where you're also seeing the likes of, for example, Amazon be. They're onboarding kiranas, using them also for deliveries. Is that the way Grofers will also go?
I think there are just small saliences between different businesses, but fundamentally it kind of looks like the same, right? So we go and we partner with local merchants who actually open the stores for us, and they operate the stores as well. And the idea we have is, and right now, just between that blog posting and now, we already have 11 more stores. So we are at 211 stores today. So what we are actually trying to do is create this very dense supply network that can get products to customers within 10 minutes. So think of it as an extended pantry for your house. That there is a lot of things which are available which you need, and you can just get them in 10 minutes. So you don't need to stock up on them, or you don't have to worry that if you run out of something, will it be able to get to you in time for you to either cook a meal or to take care of a use case, which might be an emergency use case. You need a band-aid, you can just order from Grofers and it'll get to you in 10 minutes. So I think fundamentally, we are trying to create this network, and we are moving really fast to make sure that we scale up, because the customer demand for this service seems to be extremely high. So I think for the first time in the last few years, we are really just chasing customer growth with, can we actually get more partners out there? Can we get more stores up? And can we actually start servicing these customers who really want this service?
So let me also ask you this: as you scale this up, you're in 8 cities right now, if I'm not mistaken. You just said tier 2, tier 3 will happen later. What kind of a response have you seen from customers? Are you convinced that this is going to work, that Indians will want their groceries for a long time in 10 minutes?
I think they have bet our entire company that it is going to work, because we basically pivoted our entire business into this model, because we see it as the next iteration of commerce in general, that this is something which is going to become extremely prevalent, and it is something which is going to really build up a lot of customer love and loyalty over the years. So we are very bullish on this. We've already taken this bet, and we see early proof points that it's working, right? We have the highest customer retentions across categories, across e-commerce businesses, and we also see a lot of scale in these businesses coming in very, very quickly. Just what I mentioned earlier, to give you an example, over a 4 odd month period, we've gone from 2,000 orders every day to 1.25 lakh orders every day. That's a massive scale up, and I think that basically gives you some data point as to how much customer demand is out there and how fast this business is scaling up for us.
You have pivoted your entire model, you're saying, to do this. Now, earlier, Albinder, we had seen Grofers also come out with his private labels. You were trying to enter new categories too. So this 10-minute delivery, is it starting with groceries and then we'll move to other categories?
I think it already does. I think our viewpoint is that this is a 10-minute delivery service more than a grocery delivery service alone, right? So we basically deliver whatever customers need, and whether we classify that as grocery or we classify that as something else is very, very different. To give you an example, we delivered coins during Dhanteras because one of our merchants gave us this idea that why don't I stock some coins, because my relatives want to buy it from my store. And so I think we are constantly iterating at what are the things that customers need within 10 minutes, and we are very, very intent on providing them that.
Okay. So basically anything that you want delivered. So what have you done? You've tied up with Karanas. Tell us how it works. It's really interesting, right? And you have to make money too. I'm going to get to that part in just a bit, the unit economics and what all that is looking like. So how does it work? Let's say Nayantara Rai lives in X locality, goes on Grofers, wants certain things delivered in 10 minutes. What kind of a radius will it work?
So right now we have stores every 2 kilometers on average. Some places like Gurgaon and Noida, we are much more denser. We have stores which are even every 1.5 kilometers. What we look for is local partners who want to sort of join the e-commerce bandwagon, if that's the right word for this. And they want to benefit from e-commerce. So we basically ask them to set up the stores. We help them with the store setup. We provide them the tech, and we also sort of work with them to figure out what is the products that sell in their little catchment area. So if you place an order, and usually when customers are placing an order with us, it is something that they need in 10 minutes. A new parent might need diapers, right? Or you might need a pen and a notebook. So once you place that order, these products are picked from the stores and delivered by our delivery partners to you. So the average picking time at the store is usually less than about 2 minutes. And then our partner has about 8 minutes to cover 2 kilometers, which is fairly comfortable for them to do. So that is sort of how the overall model works. It is extremely optimized based on the tech that we've been building for the 5-6 years, and we are just trying to make sure that we set this up first, and then we can sort of bring our knowledge of scaling to the whole equation as well.
So the people who deliver, the delivery partners, they would be on your payrolls, they're part of your fleet, or they are, the delivery boys of that store, and that's an arrangement you have with the kiranas or the merchant?
Yes, yes. So primarily, we are responsible for providing the delivery fleet for the orders, and it's a mix. Some of the partners will be on our payroll. Some of them are contract employees that want flexibility of working, so they will work maybe 2 hours in the morning, a few hours in the evening, and we sort of communicate with them via our last mile delivery app.
Okay. Now, in all of this, Albinder, how does Grofers make money?
So I think we have a lot of avenues in the future to make money as well. But right now, our primary source of revenue is the commission that we charge from our store partners for the orders that we get for that store, and that commission is what ends up as our primary source of revenue. We also are an advertising platform for most of the larger brands. So we sell everything from diapers and sanitary pads to cooking oil, and a lot of the brands that work with them, both big and small, right? So we are a primary source of sales for a lot of the emerging new B2C brands as well. So we are also able to advertise them meaningfully on the platform and earn some dollars from that. So that's a primary source of revenue. So,
Albinder, can you tell us anything about the road to profitability?
I think we have some early signs that the road to profitability is fairly clear. We have some cities and some clusters which are already contribution positive and which we think will end up being profitable for us very, very soon. And in fact, there are areas which are already profitable for us. But I think overall, we are right now focused on building out this network. And the road to profitability will be very long, but we think that building out this network is worth it. And we will eventually get there.
Okay, so the road to profitability will be long. You're focusing right now clearly on expansion, entering new geographies, building up this entire network as well, as you're putting it. So Albinder, when you tell me that you've pivoted your entire business model to do this, is this what is going to be your differentiator? Because the fact is, what Grofers was doing earlier had become a crowded space, right? Whether it was a Jio, an Amazon, a Flipkart, everybody's now trying to deliver more, be a logistics player and not just an aggregator, etc. So is this your USP? Is this your differentiator? Is that what you're hoping for?
See, I think every space, every worthy space gets crowded, and you will have an evolution of business models. For us, the biggest driving force in this area is that this is really, really close to something that customers need. And we also took the call that this is the business model which is going to scale up really rapidly. So instead of us being on the outside of this and watching somebody else do it, let's actually get in there, disrupt ourselves, and build this out. So I think there is no USP in business models. Everybody can do whatever we do. And I think our USP exists in our people, in our culture, in our technology. So all of the inputs that go into execution is where most of our USP exists. And I think that's what we've always told ourselves, and that's what we really, really believe in.
You told me about more than 1.25 lakh people, right, who are now taking part in this since the launch. Can you give an idea of what is it that Indians want delivered in 10 minutes? Is it usually a case of, you're cooking something and you run out of it and you don't have time to go to the shop, so you want to get it delivered fast? What kind of habits are you seeing? What's the average ticket size, for example?
So our average ticket size is right now between 700 to 800. It is still a little bit high because we offer a very wide range of products for the entire household. So most of the customers open the app to buy vegetables from us, so fresh, mostly before they start cooking lunch or before they have to worry about what to cook for dinner. But we also see them buying a lot of products along with the vegetables, which might be something that they need in the household. However, we have a lot of people buying everything from Coke to charging cables on the platform. We do a lot more sale now than we used to do for snacks. So I think this is turning out to be an entire new learning for us as well, as all the things that we can make available in 10 minutes. They seem to be something that customers want, including the fact that we sold gold and silver coins during Dhanteras, and we sold puja flowers on Diwali, and those were delivered in 10 minutes, and there was a lot of demand for that.
When an idea works, you see a lot of startups mushrooming based on that idea, right? I remember recently, and thanks to liquidity or whatever reasons you want to call it, we're seeing what's happening with funding, right? So there's a new startup called Zepto, which in its first ever external funding has raised $16 million. They're also promising these 10-minute deliveries. If I've heard of Zepto, you've definitely heard of Zepto. You will know more about many other players who are probably entering this space. It's a many winner take all.
I think that remains to be seen. I think, just like in grocery delivery in 2015 or food delivery in 2016, a lot of companies get funded at early stages. And this is an execution game. And this is something that you build for the long term. So we wish everybody getting funded in this space all the best. And we believe that if other people also build, it will build up the market overall. But typically we only worry about like can we do for our customers? Are we doing the right things? Are we executing the right way? And are we being careful with how we spend our capital? So I think we take a very, very inward looking view of these things and build according to that with a very, very tight focus on the customer. But we totally see that there is going to be a lot of funding in this space because it is that exciting.
Albinder, I'm going to come towards the end of the interview. Now, it's no secret that before the Zomato deal, when it picked up about a 10% stake, before that, Grofers had ambitions of listing, of an IPO. Those didn't work out. Now, I don't know whether Paytm has made you change your mind, but where do you stand when it comes to the public market debut?
So I think we took a very business and a customer first view of this. So when we were preparing for an IPO, our view was that we are building a certain way, but we saw this opportunity in quick commerce come up. So 10-minute delivery, and we saw customer behavior based on our own experiments in Gurgaon as to what was changing when we were able to deliver faster to the customers. And we didn't want to lose out on this opportunity. Right. So it made a ton of sense to basically say, let's not get distracted with anything else. Let's not get distracted with trying to go public. And the folks at Zomato were kind enough to also believe in our vision that the quick commerce space is going to be massive and it's going to be large. So we wanted to get to work as quickly as possible to scale this business. So I think we maintain that view that the space is going to continue to be large and we will have to invest into it and that we will grow. And our early proof points are that our thesis was correct, and I hope that it continues to be correct. So I think right now we're just focused on doing these things and not really worry about what happens in the public markets or anywhere else.
You said Zomato is very kind enough to come back as an investor. There's nothing like a free lunch. There must be an opportunity or synergies that Zomato is also seeing, and you guys have talked about it. Deepinder Goyal, the founder of Zomato, is, of course, on your board as well. What are those synergies?
I think right now we're only learning from them because they're right now financial investors in the company. But we obviously learn from them. We learn from Deepinder, who's on our board as well. And sort of moving forward, we are seeing that right now we don't need capital. We are very, very well capitalized. We haven't even started using the capital we raised in the last round. And we are seeing this massive growth surge coming. So I think there are going to be even more learnings that we will be able to take from Zomato's journey and keep scaling up our business.
You think the Paytm IPO, what happened, the listing will have an impact on the Indian startup ecosystem, the gush of liquidity that we've seen, the minting of unicorns, the record year we've seen for funding?
I have no idea.
I'm sure you have an idea. It may be that you don't want to say it, but so I will appreciate that and accept that. But Albinder, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for finally giving us this interview. Here's wishing you and the entire Grofers team all the very best. It's a big bet you guys are taking on quick commerce.
Thank you so much, Nayantara. Thank you so much.